a commission actually for a skinning knife that is going to find its way over to Africa for a safari hunt. So without further ado, I'm just going to go ahead and get started on it. He kind of sent me an overall design of what he wanted. I have a piece of spring steel here. It looks like it's about 1.5 inches wide by 5/16 of an inch thick. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. He's looking for something right around the 10-inch area, 5-inch handle, 5-inch blade. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and get started, bring it over to the forge, and see what we wind up with. I'm going to thin this down. The design he showed me had a harpoon point on it, or a harpoon clip. I'm not a big fan, but I'll go ahead and put one in. So the forge should be hot enough. Start turning it off a bit. Move my point down. To a better angle. Alright, so I looked at his design and it's actually rounded right in here. Instead of a abrupt harpoon clip, really just kind of swooped in here. We can do that. Alright, so then there's a finger choil right at around the 5-inch mark. So there's another choil right in front of this one. So it creates almost like a hump. A little bit more subtle. A little bit more subtle. Alright, so now I'm going to move back a little bit further on this handle.
kind of in a ballpark with the shape, so I'm going to kind of get back to thinning the stock down. Especially these upsets. That I've been putting in. Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. This is gonna wind up going to a different continent. Pretty crazy if you think about it. Trying to stay focused back in the handle. Horn does a pretty good job. So I am thinning down the flats. Because I did the banana quite a bit, which actually I'm kind of surprised of. For how short the blade is. actually where I started to plunge on the anvil, and I took it too flat. I about got it out. I about have it out. All right, so now I got to get this handle curving in the right direction. Kind of focusing my blows up on the top. All right, so this is the third heat. Changing the direction of this handle. As you can see, change direction pretty good. So now it's actually curving this way. I'm gonna put some pre-curve in this thing. I'm gonna smack it on the horn a couple times, and then I'm gonna thin the bottom side of the handle down. I got the top side thinned down pretty good, and I kind of have it going in the way I want it to go. So I actually just decided to use my mallet. Alright, so now I'm going to thin that out, and that should straighten up some. Thin down the bottom side. Yeah, I got that. I got that nasty dent out. That's kind of a result of stopping yesterday and picking it back up today, and just kind of get out of rhythm. So, what are you gonna do? I think I got it out, so it's no big deal, but that's kind of a result of what that was from. Alright, so it's kind of time to clean up my profile here. Got a little wonky here and there. So I'm going to get all this cleaned back up. Alright. Turn this around. Hopefully I can hold it. Oh, hot, not right there. Whew. I'm not going to hold it right there. finishing. Trying to bring it into a slightly different shape. Yeah, I think I'm getting it in there. Pretty close to where I want. I got a lot of extra meat in the handle, width-wise, but that's okay because that's going to be taken down a little bit smaller. Yeah, all in all, I kind of like where I'm at with it. This is going to be profiled quite a bit. The shape that I want is kind of actually inside this big wide glob, so it's going to be narrowed down quite a bit. But with the contour down and the contour up, yeah, I can only achieve that with a thicker piece of metal. If I would have started out with something thinner, I wouldn't have been able to move all that and get what I needed in between what I have forged out here. So, all right, so I am hot cutting this off the stock. And then I'm going to start to do some straightening in the vise. All right, so let's get this taper set. And I want to make quick work of that. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and shut this video down. I did get the knife done on the belt sander. I got it profiled, I got the bevels ground in, I got the false edge ground in. This is at a 120 grit finish coming off the belt sander. The bevels, I've already started to do some hand sanding. So we got an 80 grit hand sanded finish on the bevels just to clean up the plunge lines, clean up the false edge, and just pretty much get all my lines straight to make sure everything is geometrical from side to side. And get everything looking nice and clean and sharp and even. So I did that doing some hand sanding with 80 grit. Of course, we got the tang work. We got a bunch of holes drilled in here, not only for weight reduction but for epoxy transfer. So you get epoxy on the inside of both of the handle scales. It just makes it stronger versus just having the scales kind of glued on top of the steel. You can get that epoxy transfer between both scales. Of course, I got the holes drilled in here for the pins. It's going to be 1/4 inch pins. It's going to have a lanyard hole. The lanyard is actually quite big, but you know, I'm going to kind of keep that as a surprise as far as what that's going to be. But as far as this video goes, it's going to be a one and done. We're not going to do any more videos on this blade. If you want to continue to follow this African Safari build, you can look for it over on Instagram, where I will upload pictures on a regular basis just to kind of show progress of the build.
I have till next year. I guess his trip is in April, so I have up until next year to get this thing done. So I'm definitely in no rush to get it done, but I did want to get to this point just to make sure that everything's okay. I probably will heat treat it. If not today, probably next weekend, get past the heat treatment. And once I get past the heat treatment and I'm 100% confident that this blade is now turned into a knife, then I'll just kind of slow down and continue with the process. I'll communicate with the customer a little bit more as to, you know, the type of finish that he wants. Does he want a shiny finish, a dull finish, a brush finish, an etch finish? We'll kind of work out all those details, work out the details on which kind of handle material he wants. He wants this, that, and the other. So once I get past, you know, the heat treat, then we can kind of focus on the nitty gritty of what this thing's really going to look like. So, but as far as this thing goes for now on YouTube and Rumble, it is done. Seal this deal. Get you some pictures of this thing. Get you some pictures of this thing. Kind of show you up close how it turned out. And yep, remember to like, share, subscribe. Check out my Etsy store. I got some new stuff listing, trying to get some stock built up going into the holiday seasons. You know, Christmas, Thanksgiving, this, that, and the other. I'm listing 2 things today, a matter of fact, and I'm getting on to another project that's going to be listed on my Etsy store. So, you know, check that out. See something over there you like, you know, get it for yourself, give it as a gift, you know, whatever. But all right, I'm going to shut up, let y'all go, and get you some pictures. So, see you on the next one.